talk about the artist Henry Bermudez, it's not easy. It's not easy because he doesn't follow the path of the zone of comfort that many artists follow. Usually in the life of an artist, once an artist finds a way of doing, they find that being repeated over and over can guarantee success and overall comfort. Henry is constantly looking for paths of new ways of doing, of new ways to ask questions, of new ways to envision the metaphor that he as an artist wants to transmit, because that's basically what an artist is. A person that through the art transmits a metaphor, a story that we others cannot imagine.
So Henry, I met Henry before the pandemic. He came into the gallery and we had this wonderful conversation. Henry said, you know, I know your gallery, people talk about your gallery, they respect your gallery, and I'm at a point in my life where, you know, I'd love to be represented by you, but, you know, I really need somebody to take this very seriously.
I think I met Henry 10 years ago. I was involved with an organization called Philographica, Philadelphia Graphic Arts, a festival in the arts here in Philly, and Henry was one of the artists involved. And in this show, we have a print that Henry made way back then for Philographica. This exhibition follows the trajectory of Henry's career, I guess the last 20 years since he arrived in Philadelphia as a political refugee. And so we're interested in his relationship to Philadelphia institutions. So for example, mural arts, which has created so many beautiful murals throughout the city of Philadelphia, embraced Henry early on. He has about 5 murals in the city of Philadelphia that are wonderful.
When I first met Henry, I learned so much about him. He has such an interesting life, a lot of hardship, a lot of successes, but a lot of optimism that brought him through. And you can really see that, how that plays out in his work over time. So I've curated the show kind of starting out on his earlier works that he did in Philadelphia, to later and going through his different styles and actually things getting much more involved and having a much more of a conversation and conversational and controversial at the same time within his works.
People always ask me, clients always ask me, out of the pieces of Henry's that you've seen or that you have the honor of showing, what is your personal favorite piece? And the answer is always the same. You know, that's like asking, you know, who's your favorite child? You know, you really just can't do that because you're looking at the body of work as a dealer, you're looking at the body of work as a whole body and a whole process. So you're looking at the big picture. You're looking at the individual pieces, but the big picture and how the sketches that you look at turn into paintings and the process. So when you're that close to it, you love everything that, you know, the artist is doing. Now, some works, in my personal opinion, are probably more powerful than others. But when you're looking at the whole process, you know, each piece has a significant meaning, you know, to you as a dealer. And hopefully I can, you know, illustrate that to my clients, you know, and show them and educate them on, you know, Henry's process, his vision, and how he takes a sketch and then creates it into, you know, a magnificent work of art.
Henry's work is very loaded with a lot of symbolism and iconography, and a lot of it is taken from his many travels, many people that he's come in contact with, a lot of you know, historical influences like Afro-Caribbean culture and pre-Columbian legends and artwork.
We had his work in one of our annual summer shows, the Woodmere Annual, which is a juried group show of living artists of Philadelphia. And it was at that time, I want to say it was about 5 years ago, where we had a large painting by Henry, and I really got a sense of the energy and the life and the vitality of the art that Henry makes. And I think People walking into the gallery just feel the vibrant energy of life, of plants, of jungles, of vines that are expanding all over the gallery. And it's this, I think, optimism about life that makes Henry's art so uplifting and inspiring despite the fact that he deals with very intense issues.
Henry brings from the Americas, and I would prefer not to talk of North America, Caribbean, and South America, but the Americas, not only because I believe in that, but because also he represents the vision of the Americas. He brings the syncretism, the complexities of different cultures that he has confronted, explored, and experimented, and has turned the idea of the myth a central component of his art for a simple reason. Life is a myth. Life is believing that there's something else that we can achieve that many times we don't know why, but we're after it.
Over these 20 years in Philadelphia, his art became big, and I think you see that all through the gallery. And it's that scale, it's that need to be declarative and to express his voice that he sees as kind of a core foundational element of what it means to now be an American citizen, to be a person who votes and has the right and the obligation to call it as he sees it. And that's what I love about the art. I mean, you don't have to ponder, what does Henry think about a political situation? It's right there on the surface, and he announces it in a very unique and glorious way.
No matter where they're from, they came to this country hoping for opportunity, and here's Henry Bermudez, who's the same person who did the same journey, and now his work is in a museum. Maybe I can actually do that too, and I could have a success, and I could wind up in a museum. So I want to be an inspiration. And I think, that's really why museums should seriously consider Henry's work and take a really, strong look at it, because it is inspirational. And I think it would, relate to people that are visiting a museum that can see themselves in the paintings.
And I think that Philadelphia should start thinking, looking at his art, and start thinking that Henry not only represents a wonderful artist, but represents the opportunity for a city, a wonderful city who defined America, invented America, and brought the most important intellectuals to this continent to rethink in that direction, like Benjamin Franklin, Hamilton, and all these people. Go to that perspective again and think of Henry as an ambassador capable of turning the art of Philadelphia into a universal component. Not art to be consumed here, but art to be shown in the rest of America and the rest of the world as a pride, language, and expression of Philadelphia. Henry is that, a wonderful expression of Philadelphia.